All right, guys, welcome to Titan Talk. We want to, you guys are killing me today. We want to thank everybody for joining us today. You got your host, I got Lieutenant Coop, I got your talent, Mr. Lieutenant Farnell over here.
Welcome. We're just throwing that talent word around anywhere.
He's our talent.
Wow.
He is our talent. And then
we need help.
I have our chief of security here with us. We have Josh Leon, and then we also have the owner, Ryan Smith, with us, joining us today as well.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
To join us with our graphic content video today. We're going to do a reaction video.
Have you seen this video, Coop?
I have not.
Really?
No, I was able to get everything set up without actually watching the video, so I'm kind of happy about that. So I get to do a true reaction for you.
Good. Well, yeah. I like that. I have seen it, but I like the blind reactions, and this one's a good one.
I'm anxious to see it because I heard we found out about a day or two ago.
Yeah.
And I found out I couldn't watch it. So
he's been all over me about watching it. He's like, you got to show it. I was like, I'm not going to show us.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting one. I'll set the stage. I think we watch it and then kind of react to it. If anybody has a comment during it, feel free to pause it. But it's a scenario that we've talked a lot about. Moving vehicles. Do you stand in front of a car? Is that lethal force, right? I mean,
correct.
It's opportunity means in jeopardy. Mm-hmm. You have the car can do very bad things to you. I think what's missing is, can you get out of the way? I don't want to give away too much. This thing is a train wreck, but if we want to watch it and discuss afterwards,
absolutely.
It's a great video, a great learning experience, and that's what I'm hoping to do with it is take it as a learning experience. We have tons of, you call it game film, different things like that where we can watch and learn from this. And I hope anybody watching can learn from this and kind of pick up some tips from it. But this is a security officer working in a parking lot at a retail store. I think it's a Walmart or something. Don't hold me to that. I don't know if it's Walmart exactly, but that type of parking lot. And he encounters a subject that he is wanting to leave.
Okay. So for everybody who's just joining us, we're going to do a live reaction video of this, and it's graphic content. So if you're not prepared to watch that, go ahead and wait.
And it is graphic.
Go ahead and wait for
that's a good warning.
Probably, I think it's about 5-minute long video.
Yeah. And
then come on back for our reactions afterwards. At some point, we might pause to say some comments on it. I don't know yet. We're going to kind of take it as it goes. So we'll just go from there. So I'm going to switch over to the video, and I'll throw a little action of us reactions up in the corner. Takes a second.
Thank you.
Get the fuck off my property. You know you've been trespassed. You know you're not supposed to be here.
Not starting out very good.
This is his body cam.
Okay, so this is the security officer's body cam.
So this guy's trespassing. He's trying to leave. Well,
You refusing to leave my property?
He does say yes.
Yeah.
yeah, I heard that.
An asshole! Oh, I fucking off now! Fucker! Fucking asshole!
I told you to leave property.
He sprayed him?
I told you to leave property. You've been trespassed and warned multiple times.
I'm calling the police. Son of a bitch. Get the
Oh,
damn it!
Get
That's
the
not
fuck
good.
out the vehicle now! You already tried to hit me once. You move this vehicle again, I will fire.
Oh,
yikes.
Oh my God!
I told you to stop and not angle the vehicle at me. Call the authorities now.
Oh God! Help me!
I told you not to move the vehicle. I told you.
You call 911 right now! Oh my God! You fucking asshole!
Oh, he's got OC on him there. I see that.
You already tried to hit me in the vehicle once. That is assault. You also used pepper spray. You've been trespassed from the property multiple times.
Freddie! Freddie! It's Freddie! Ah! Oh! Oh my God! Oh! The security guard just shot my husband! Oh! Oh!
He doesn't look to be in too good a shape.
Oh, he's gone.
My God, you killed him, you asshole.
I told you, he tried to hit me
Would you shoot him?
because he tried to hit me with a vehicle. That is assault with a deadly weapon.
You called 911. You killed my husband.
Are you on the authorities with them right now?
I'm on 911 right now.
Told them that he's been trespassed
I
multiple
watched
times.
you. I watched you.
Okay.
We all watched you. Yes, he's shot. Yes, we definitely. I see blood. Yes.
He's bleeding out.
Okay.
Do they want me to render aid? I don't know what to do at this point.
You want
Yeah,
security
I'd say you
to
should have
render
done that right
aid? Are you
away.
on medical. What do you want him to do?
I'm right here standing by. My camera's on. Everything's been recorded.
It's heavy.
That's wild. I mean, is my mic back on?
I don't think so.
It is now.
That is a wild video.
That is definitely wild.
I want to leave you guys to discuss it, but I want to throw in a couple things. The thing that stood out to me from that was, one, you can feel him adrenaline. I mean, before that even happens, he's
Right.
screaming, and it's kind of, he doesn't seem in control of himself.
No,
the
that's
other
the
challenge,
first thing I was gonna say.
he parks his vehicle to where it's blocking him going inbound. You see the guy try and turn and go towards the vehicle. He realizes he's blocked in. He backs up. I'm not sure. I mean, it looks like he's trying to leave, not necessarily hit him. And that's where I was talking about when we stand in front of a vehicle like
You're
that,
creating the
You're
opportunity.
creating
Yeah.
that scenario.
Yeah.
That gentleman, that was in Oregon. It looks like a Lowe's parking lot. That was a security officer. I'm trying to give you the follow-up to it. I believe he was charged with second-degree murder or something
Yeah.
to that degree.
Yeah.
The
Rightfully so.
victim passed away, died.
He should still be here
Right.
at the end of the day.
So
I literally just probably because of what we do for a living, of what our of what our business is. That made me nauseous.
Yep, me too.
Yeah,
That was definitely.
it made my
there's no way to watch that and not have a physical anger towards that.
Well, and then her reaction just makes it even worse.
Well,
That
yeah,
scenario is what keeps me up at night, and
Yeah.
why I think training is so vital and so important to what we do. Is there's not much grace you can give that officer other than he has split seconds to make those decisions. I think that's why for us, we need to be mentally prepared for that situation before we're in it.
Yep.
You need to know what you're going to do if you're in that situation, and stand in front of the vehicle is not it.
Yeah.
and then stay standing after he shoots him too.
Right.
I mean,
And
what if he would have
no aid
pressed the gas?
whatsoever after it, and I'm
There's-
sure the shock sets in, and you're like, what and how, but
Yep.
Real quick, guys, I want to say for those of you making comments, we're going to do a little bit of discussion, then I'll read them off for the team.
Okay.
So we can get some stuff kind of pre-out first.
First thing I want to say is get that to Sparks.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That needs to be in Sparks' presentation.
Absolutely.
About the app, and those videos we need some updating anyways, and get with Kyle and get that to Sparks because that has to be seen. That has to
Absolutely.
be seen by anybody who says, I'm going to go be a
very
security
least
officer.
to honor the victim.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
to
Yeah.
say, how do we train people to
to
not let that
never
happen
do
again?
this.
To do better.
Yeah.
And then talk to the new hires and say, what do you think's wrong here? You make
Yeah.
a list, and then we can compare. I mean, that had wrong from the get-go. The guy's getting in his car, and he's trespassing.
He's
I hear
leaving.
getting in car and trespass, I think, get yourself out of the situation.
We
He's
talk
doing your
about
job
that a
for you.
lot. When we get what makes me mental sometimes is we had an officer that had somebody trespassing. They told him to leave. They said no, and then we handcuff them and keep them there. Like, that
Why?
makes no sense
Yeah.
to me.
Yep.
When we're telling somebody to leave, we're not giving them the opportunity to leave
Yeah.
as they're boxed in with that car.
That literally made me sick.
Yeah, I know.
I
didn't
knew
enjoy
that
I
just
knew
was-
that was. I mean, it's graphic, and
I
That's,
knew it,
that's
and
definitely.
hopefully we can learn from it.
and listen, the graphics one thing, but the last call I was on with you was a 16-year-old who was murdered. So the graphic part is I'm used to. It's the complete disdain or just the non-value of life,
Right.
of the human life.
Yep.
And one of the things that we train, even when we're dealing with, maybe a homeless person who's not in the best way, or maybe I'm not trying to be graphic here either. Maybe they're covered in bodily fluids or something like that. Somebody still loves them.
Yep.
Somebody
Yeah.
still loves that person, and you can see. I mean, how
Oh, she watched.
she's just.
Yeah.
She's like,
It's just.
I mean, just
brutal.
that process
Yeah.
afterwards and seeing that rawness of it. And and knowing that those are real human beings on that. That's
Absolutely.
That's not some movie, you know, and that kid's affected, you know, because he
Right.
didn't have the right training to do.
I was just
to know what to
thinking,
do in that
like, who trained
situation.
that guy?
So that kid's life is ruined.
It's ruined.
Yeah.
Because of his his inexperience and being put in a situation, putting himself in a situation that he easily should
Could
have
have
not
avoided.
been in.
Easily avoided.
And that's it's a result. Maybe he watches too much TV, or I mean, those situations happen. I was watching a video the other day of a police officer. Two police officers show up to it's an unloading of school. So there's school buses, and it's a high school because there's kids driving. Or there's this black Nissan Altima that's driving through the parking lot and trying to hit kids. So this police officer has to make a decision that I'm probably going to shoot a kid today because the car's starting to come at him, and eventually he fires off a few rounds and the car turns, and I think they drove away. But a situation like that, he couldn't avoid that situation.
That's a
He's
different
there,
scenario.
yeah, because he's there to save the lives of the children that car could cause harm to. This kid could have easily stepped out of the way. First off, parked his car
The
out
car
of the
could have
way,
been parked in a completely different area.
and that guy would be home with his wife right now.
There's been some little whispers in the hallways of training and range and our squad room and stuff like that of the culture change when it comes to crime in our country. And I don't think it should be a whisper anymore, because something got in that guy's head of whether it's a trespass, maybe there was a previous theft involved or something like that. Guys, that stuff is legal in this country now.
Yep.
To steal is legal in this country. To trespass is legal in this country. To loiter is legal in this country. To have an open air drug market to where you're tying up and shooting up or using the restroom on the city sidewalk is legal in this country. And security officers and police officers and anybody with any level of power or any level of enforcement better get that through your heads, because you're going to make this kind of mistake, because you're going to die on this hill. And I'm sorry for that analogy there. Of a property crime or of a nuisance crime. This is what you're going to do.
I think it gets looked at as a formula situation. Like, I have guy in car, he comes at me and I can shoot. So it's more looked at as if I have A and B, I can do C. And we have to get out of that mentality.
Yeah, you can't make it fit.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he was wanting that scenario almost to play out almost.
That's more of what Ryan's talking about. Ryan, what he's talking about is
I
more.
thought I was Ryan.
You are Ryan.
You've got-
Never mind.
yeah.
I've got the Ryans. No, that's what I'm saying. To me, when you block them off and you're standing right in front,
Yeah.
that is you saying, "I am giving you the
Come hit me, come
opportunity."
hit me, come hit
yeah.
me.
Well, what about the pepper spray? That's something we get into. Is we use pepper spray as a means to protect ourselves or others,
Yep.
not to effect an arrest.
Yep.
So we're telling somebody to leave, and if you don't, I'm going to pepper spray you, or how. Like,
I
everything
think
about
they
that
may have sprayed
situation.
him. I think they may have sprayed him.
No, yeah. So they sprayed him. He
'Cause
stuck
she had her
pepper spray
hand
out the window. The driver stuck pepper spray out the window and sprayed him. Attempted to
I
spray him.
think
He missed.
That's what it looked like, because he had some on his wrist there. You
Yeah.
could see after he had drawn his weapon.
Because
or
something he
was
said
holding.
is you tried to hit me with your vehicle,
Then you sprayed
and you
me.
sprayed me.
Because I noticed, I thought maybe it was a gun barrel that they were sticking out the window at first.
It
when he
was
went
one of
to the
those in a
side
little
of the-
leather case.
Yeah, he went to the side of
Yeah.
the door there, and then which I thought this could be good. He's leaving, and then he goes back out right in front of the vehicle and points a gun at him and says, "Where are you going to go?"
Yeah.
He's backed into a spot. I mean, he literally, like you said, he kind of cocktailed this thing together.
Yes. He
And
made it
maybe
fit.
thought it would be cool to shoot somebody, or in that situation. Those people don't deserve to carry a gun for a living.
Ugh.
And we talked about this earlier at range. You know, some people just aren't fit for this job.
That's where you hope, and the problem is you might be able to go to range.
25 million, by the way, was what the wife is asking for.
Yeah.
I think this just I mean, I think it's fairly.
She
I haven't
she
heard- I
deserves
haven't
3
seen it.
times that.
Yeah.
She
There's-
deserves
there's no
3 times.
amount that'll replace
no,
him.
Yeah,
No amount.
No amount. And we were just talking about this at range that Ryan said, other Ryan. The scary thing is you could have somebody. Let's say that guy. I'm not going to say officer,
Right.
but let's say that guy,
Kid.
yeah, that idiot, was a fantastic shot.
Right.
Let's say he was a 100% shooter. Doesn't matter if he's a 100% shooter if he's a maniac.
He's not mentally
Yeah,
fit
he's
to
not
carry
mentally
a gun
sound.
for a living, yeah.
That's where the FATS training has to catch it.
Absolutely.
That's
yes.
where our FATS
That's where the
training has to catch it. And that's why I always tell Instructor Sparks, I say, dude, do not be scared to wash them on FATS.
Yep.
Don't be scared to wash them on FATS, because that's range is paper, you
Right,
know,
right.
and the thing is that's where I always am like that FAT system. That is, I'll never forget. I had an officer down there when I was still doing Todd's class, and he just sat there, and there was kind of a disruptive party like that, and the disruptive party says, "Hey, bring it on," and the officer
we're
went
done.
like this. And started walking towards the screen. I said, "I'm going to need to see you upstairs."
Yeah.
You know, he
Yep.
put his hands up like he's like, "Okay, I'll fight you."
Which
no,
is all
No.
sorts of, I mean, there's no use of force continuing. I mean, even if you were going to do that,
Yeah.
you're not going to meet
No.
force with the same amount of force.
right? It's just no.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, and like, have we not been talking to each other for the last 3 days in a
Right.
row? Because you ignored every single
Everything.
thing that we said.
Which is why, I mean, our whole mantra is training and everything else, which is, I think the bigger issue is the lack of training, because if you don't fill those holes in, they get filled in by themselves and things like this happen.
Right.
And
Well,
I think that's the...
And that's why I brought up earlier. I said that kid just. I mean, it's a disservice to him for the company that hired him and put a gun in his hands that he wasn't trained properly to handle situations like that, or handle himself enough to get him out of situations like that.
You and I counseled an ops. Ryan McFarland has been learning
That's my name.
to go through use of force scenarios. I've had him call officers in. I'm sitting down with him as he's going over. Think about the one that we just had at the grocery store where the guy took off running, you know? And I sat there and I'm coaching this guy. I said, you are doing, I know the man who teaches your class, the class that you were in. I've
Right.
known him for 20 some
You're
years.
disregarding
And
it.
I actually taught him how to teach this class.
Well,
And you're disregarding everything he said to you.
that's a good one, because we used to get that earlier. Remember when we would have somebody runs off property and they would get in a foot chase and they'd go, and I would have that. I've used this example many times, but say we had somebody that was doing patrols on a property and they had somebody take off and they take off running, and the argument would always be from the officer. They'd go, well, it's legal for us
But
to
I
do
can.
this
But I
because
can.
Yeah.
I can, if it starts on the property, I can chase them off, and I would always go, it's legal for me to sit behind my desk and down a bottle of Jack Daniels. Is that the smartest thing I could do? And I think that's the difference and that's where, with this situation, where A plus B doesn't always equal C. You've
Correct.
got to, you can't manufacture those things and let them go. And then on top of that, you also have to think of what's smart and what's the best use, not what can be done. But
Right. Well, and that's the thing is you need to learn to get out of those situations rather than try how to put yourself in those
So
situations.
let's do two things. I mean, obviously that's a terrible scenario. The officers that are out there, how would you have told them to handle that situation differently? And then I'm also interested, what are we getting comment-wise? Is there any questions or anything we can
Let
throw
me
in?
answer that while you're looking at comments real quick, and that way you have some
Sure,
things
sure,
to
go
throw at us. If I was looking at a class of our officers and anybody says anything other than leave, just leave the
Yeah, I was gonna
situation.
say, there should
Just
be-
leave that should.
that
If
video
they have
should have been 1
listened to
second
if they
long.
have listened to Todd for the 3 or 4 days, they should be looking at McFarland as he's
There's
walking.
no
the field.
active threat. If you're refusing to leave, then we can call the police and go,
Bail.
hey, I've got a
Bail.
a car out here that is not
Back
leaving.
away.
Can you
Yep.
guys come
Yeah,
out and
sit
give me
there
some
and
help on
watch
it?
it
Like,
happen.
that's
And then
the-
keep an eye.
Yep.
I think blocking the car in and continuing to bring the fight to something that wasn't a fight.
There is so much awful about that. I'll
I know.
go.
It's where do you start?
It's
Yeah.
easier for me to say this.
Yeah.
He did nothing that we trained.
Correct,
He
yeah.
acted in no manner.
right. There was nothing.
There was
that
not
was
single
no
one
aid
thing he
afterwards,
did.
No, yeah.
There was not
Nope.
one thing he did that we trained. Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, it's that. I
In
mean,
every aspect. I mean,
So-
in
he
every
shouldn't
aspect.
even have hit the parking lot. To be honest, if he's well, he was probably parking lot patrol.
I would say
so-
something else it could have been. He could have been
so
parking
he
lot
knows the
patrol
guy's
because he's in the
trespassed.
vehicle.
Yeah, he knows
But
the
at the
guy's
same-
trespassed. Park a good distance away and get on the phone. Hey, I got.
I mean,
this
he
guy
could
trespassed, he's on property.
even parking even closer. He could have parked at that alleyway right there just before you enter into the parking
I wouldn't be
spaces.
surprised if that guy's still in jail. I mean, he's got that.
He's looking at some
gonna get
time.
criminal-
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's looking at
that's-
some time.
That's prison.
I
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
where you live
that's
now.
prison.
You know, you said, Ryan Smith, that these are the kind of things
You
that
know,
keep
you could use Smith or McFarland. That may make that.
There's,
a little,
it's kind
that
of
might
fun.
clean that
But
up
he
a little
likes-
It's
bit.
kind of fun.
he
I
likes
like
using
the
the
pause.
first- yeah.
The pause is kind of Ryan
Smith.
McFarland. It's like Newman on Seinfeld. Newman. Anyway, you said that those are the kind of situations that would keep you up at night. If there's anything that should lay you back to bed and put you back to sleep is that video is the polar opposite of
Yes.
our training,
Yes.
Every-
our
That's,
FTO.
what
every
we,
step
that's
of it.
everything we are not.
It's everything
Yeah.
we are not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we
So-
also pause and these guys are, it's beer o'clock at,
No. So one of the comments that we have,
Why did you not bring us beer?
you know,
on
I actually
this?
thought about bringing a little scotch
well,
in
you,
here.
you can't drink on live.
You can?
Says who?
Oh, really?
It's not as far as I know.
Who knows if this is?
I know you
You're
can do
making
pre-recorded.
that up.
Yeah.
This is a rule you're making up.
No.
You're not
Yeah,
allowed to do
yeah,
that.
No.
This is a
How do
free
you know?
country.
How do you know it's in a
I could be down. This could be.
in a
I'm
brown
just telling
bag?
you what the rules
We'll
that
just
I
brown
have to
bag it.
apply when I stream for mine. That's one of the things I'm not allowed to do.
Well, it's different.
Right, well, we
'cause
won't. So
Ryan
if we
Smith's-
do, I guess what you're saying is don't
it's
talk
water.
about it.
Exactly.
Right.
It's water.
Got it.
I'm completely breaking your rule. I'm going to do everything in my power to break every single rule it comes to when it comes to consumption of alcoholic beverages when I am on my final hour of my week.
Me too.
Yeah.
No.
So
So one of the
upsetting.
comments that we have is from Fields. He's one of our patrol officers. Preclusion is a big factor when it comes to using lethal force. It should be if all other reasonable levels of force have failed, he could have moved out of the way.
100%.
That was the very first comment that we got on while this was.
Good.
while this-
100%. Yep.
We were talking about Seven before the movie Seven because none of us have or seen that in a while. We've all seen it, but it's been a long time since any of us seen it. There's a line there where Morgan Freeman, and I brought this up to you before. How do we get to this door? Why are we at this door? I don't have a warrant. I don't have this or whatever. I didn't.
Right.
I need. What I'm saying is, prior to even touching your gun, prior to touching OC, prior to doing anything, what are you doing here? Why are you in front of this car?
Right.
And the fact that light switch is not going on is what's so upsetting.
Well, again, I think if that kid would come through our program with the FAT simulator or any other type of just paying attention to that kid's behavior, he would have never ever worn a uniform for us.
Right.
And so that's the training piece that we offer. That's obviously much more in depth and different, but it's unfortunate because in this line of work we are often targeted for situations like that, and no one hates a bad cop more than a good cop.
Right.
And so you apply that situation here, that kid should get the book thrown at him, and I hope he does, and I hope he's made an example of, so kids that don't have that training go, I'm carrying this lethal weapon for a living.
Yeah,
maybe
this should
I
scare
need,
the shit out of everybody.
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe I should learn
Yes.
how to use this thing better or to put myself in situations better. And so that if there's
Seek
any
out
good,
additional training.
yeah, if there's any good you can pull out of that awful video is
Right.
that hopefully it helps people realize
Right.
that it can go from 0 to 100 in a second, and don't put yourself in a position where you
Yeah,
cause
that whole
to
thing
happen.
unraveled in less than 5 minutes, and now
Ugh.
everybody's life's changed out
Yeah.
of that. That's
Yeah,
involved.
you're gonna sit on that for a while. I can tell. by
That
looking
one-
at
that
you.
one-
I knew it was
man.
bothering you when we were watching it because I felt the same.
But see, that's
I
why
get-
I don't
I'm
want you
pretty
guys
sure we all
seeing them
felt like
before.
that.
Yeah,
Because I
no,
think
that
getting
was
the reaction to
I will
it
give you
is-
credit on that one.
I have
I would not
so
have
many of
reacted the
those
same
too.
having
I've got a
seen
couple.
it.
I've got another one from a Lowe's parking lot that is a really good one.
It made me physically ill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
It
that
made me
little
physically
dump.
ill. That made me physically ill. Josh telling me that I can't drink is just really upsetting.
No, you can
It's
drink.
Friday.
Just don't say it.
It is I'm drinking. I'm drinking. I'm drinking. I'm drinking.
killing
He's off
me.
camera too, isn't he?
No, not now. But
I'm
he doesn't
at-
have anything in front of him besides that empty cup.
I
in
like
front.
that shot. You can see the sides of their backs of their head. Just remind me not to be put in that spot because then you'll see my bald
The
spot.
back of the
Yeah.
head.
His landing strip.
Yeah.
So the next comment we have is we've got a couple of them. And Billy says, "Why not render aid? The heck."
Yep.
We have definitely not justified. We have Laura who says security with no qualified immunity. He is done, which is I think something that you mentioned is that he's got
That's
second
interesting.
degree.
That's a very interesting point, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Civilly, but I mean,
first I was going to comment on Billy's comment. That just made it even worse.
Yeah.
It just made it so
Yeah.
much worse. I
Yeah.
mean, the deed was done. He's still going to
When
prison.
he asked the Lowe's employee if I should
Should I render aid? It's a
Should I render
human
aid?
being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't
think
care
that
what-
I would bet you if you interviewed him about that,
He's
he wouldn't
frozen.
even remember what.
Yeah, he's
was.
frozen.
I think the adrenaline and the
Well, for
probably
sure.
Yeah, he's
probably
frozen.
putting it all together was having an oh crap moment.
I feel like maybe he woke up after the holes were in the windshield.
Something
and
in
he's
him
just like,
changed where he goes. It was basically, well, he came at me, I shot him. Now tell me what to do.
I got the whole thing
Yeah.
on video. I got the whole thing on video.
Yeah.
And it's like you are literally trying to do this.
Yeah.
Like he set out that day. If it wasn't that unfortunate soul. Someone else was going to get hurt by that kid before he got stripped of his duties.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it's
play
just
devil's
really
advocate.
unfortunate.
Well, you can't really.
There's no real devil's advocate.
Because
on that
nothing
one.
Other
good.
than saying,
I don't think.
I mean,
Other than saying, hey,
you
this
flash
helps
back
you wanna
30
train.
years ago. I mean, they used to have the fleeing felon law in
You
Kansas.
could still shoot
where
them, yeah.
If it was a
It's
felon,
Tennessee
and they were
versus
leaving,
Garner.
you can-
Yeah, it's Tennessee versus Garner where the guy's coming out of the back.
You've got the officer that's got a gun pointed at him. He's saying, "Don't move." I mean, in today's day and age, absolutely. And I'm not making the case that I think that there was any justification for that.
No, but I see what you're saying. Just to play the flip side a little bit, it's like, but really, I mean, he's boxed in. The kid's standing there. Knowing the outcome, yeah, I'm putting that in park. And hey, kid, relax, you know.
Right.
But let me leave. I'm trespassed.
Right.
It's like, what do you want me to do here?
Well, and think about this, fellas. This is back to the bad milk scenario that we always use.
yeah, don't put yourself in that situation.
Don't put yourself in it. And you could tell as soon as they had a verbal interaction, they've been down this road with each other before.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
You could tell. He goes, I've already told you guys, or there's some
Well, you know,
exchange
when you get
with.
that over yelling, you can
Yeah.
hear him like it's that adrenaline where,
Yeah.
where you're
Almost
too
like a
worked
squeak in
up.
his voice
Yeah.
a
And
little
you
bit.
gotta. I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough to recognize it.
You gotta
when
go
you're
walk
in the
that
heat
one
of the
off,
moment,
buddy.
but,
Ugh.
that's a
Yeah,
tough
that one's
one.
gonna stink for a while.
Yeah, that's one.
But
wish
I do think I agree with you, and I didn't think about it getting it into training. Because it's a wake up of like, do not put yourself in this
We've got
position.
some, I mean,
and that.
the other videos we have in training, there's some of those where I like when I will help Sparks out or step in, he's got to step out for a minute, watch the class's reaction. Because
Yeah.
there's some videos that
I
we watch
wondered
without
about
giving away
that
too many
because do
details.
we
They're
still
just-
have the guy that shoots himself?
We do.
Yep.
Yep.
I put that in the original orientation that we had, and I thought of it as a way of just those types of things can really stick with you, and I don't want it to be something that people look at and go, well, I don't want to get involved in that
No.
or work there, but I also want it to be the wake-up call that it is to go, this is a different profession that we have chosen.
And on the other flip side, if somebody sits there and sees that and goes, oh, that's cool, or oh, it's like you shouldn't be here
Right.
either, buddy.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that should bother you. That's a human being.
That should be more
That's
than
real.
upsetting.
Yeah, that's not a movie. And you know, so that's another. There's two sides of that. Where if someone's too upset, then yeah, this probably isn't for you. And if someone gets excited by that or isn't really phased as much, that should be a red flag as well.
Didn't Casey Mo's private licensing put something in specifically to say that there's a restriction in shooting at moving? I mean, almost
Yes,
every law
almost
enforcement
everybody
agency
does.
has
Yeah,
put that in. To
almost
say,
everybody does.
You know, under
It's
the
that
above.
general. Was it Mattis? Mad Dog Mattis? He has a famous quote of, you know, I'm begging you with tears in my eyes, do not make me respond to
Right,
this. And the
right.
thing is, that's how you should feel about your weapons. That's
Right.
how you should feel about
Right.
use of force.
Yes.
That's how
Yeah.
you should feel every day. I'm begging you. I don't want to do this.
There's
And if I do want to do this, I shouldn't be doing this.
Right.
I
There's-
shouldn't be in
yeah.
this business.
There's a ton of videos, and we should probably play one to have, I mean, just the flip side of what goes right in a situation where a guy is in that position, but not because he put himself there. Where, like the one I was talking about, the school,
Yes.
there's videos where police officers will discharge their firearm in their body cam, and you'll see them after about 5 minutes, that adrenaline dumps, and then that it just flatlines, and you see them over there sobbing. You know, it's like, this is the last thing I want to do. Last thing I want to do is shoot somebody.
So there was an officer involved shooting. I was probably about 5 or 6 years in, and I'll never forget. Warren and I got there, and you could still see the smoke coming out of the suspect, and he had ran over a sheriff's deputy. I was back with the suspect. The other officers arriving were pulling the sheriff's deputy out from underneath the car. Underneath this was not an area where he could get out of the way. He was underneath the car. It was him and the building behind him, and he was running him over. And as he was being dragged out from underneath the car, the sheriff's deputy was screaming, check him, help him.
Yep.
It's like, he just tried to kill you, dude. And that's the mindset that
That's
you
the
should
mentality.
have. That's the mentality you should have. I remember it so vividly. You can see I got goosebumps right
Yeah.
now because I remember him screaming, check
Help
on
that-
him,
help that
check
guy,
on
yeah.
and he was gone. And he was gone. But that is every officer, when they put on their vest, when they put on their belt, when they put on their piece, that is the mentality that you should be hitting the street with. We are here to save people.
Right.
We are not here to impose violence like that.
Right.
It was gross. It was just gross.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
So one of the other comments we got, just want to let you know, Fields agrees with you wholeheartedly. A glass of scotch sounds pretty good while listening to us.
Especially after
Fields,
that freaking
listen
video.
to me. This is Coop
could
did
use
it.
some scotch right
Coop did
now.
it at the end of my day yesterday, even to the point of where Lieutenant McFarland looked at him and said, "Why? Why are you doing it to him?"
Sometimes I just can't help it.
Coop said it's illegal, so we're.
I didn't
not-
say it was
I
illegal.
didn't
I didn't say it was illegal.
Doesn't one of our employees in the administration have an entire YouTube site about
I was actually
drinking?
going to say that.
That's
Aaron
what I
Black
was
said
I
it.
don't
was
know.
like,
His are
doesn't he drink
his
the
are
whole-
pre-recorded though. It's
Oh,
the live.
live thing.
I can be drunk a minute ago, is what you're telling me, but I
Yeah.
can't be drunk right now.
Pretty much.
Well, you can be drunk right now. You
just can't be
can't doing it.
It's kind of
Like,
like speeding.
It's kind of like that movie Dogma, where they can swish it in their mouth and they have to spit it out. You can't
That's-
imbibe it.
Do you want to talk about my pure definition of hell?
yeah.
You
yeah,
know,
it's like,
I
here,
mean-
taste all this delicious stuff, but you
Yeah,
can't actually
taste
feel
that
the
beer?
effects of it.
Yeah, no funny feeling.
Yeah. It doesn't make you feel warm and fuzzy.
You know what? I'm going to need to see a rule. I'm going to need to see it on paper. I'm going to need to see it that it's
He's
actual.
fact-checking
I'll
you
see
right
what
now.
I'll see what I find.
Yeah,
he is
see what you can
I'll
find.
see what I
I
can find.
actually, that does make sense. I could see that to where on a stream.
Wait a minute. You're agreeing with him?
Yes.
The
No,
reason
just
so
the live
anyways-
part.
I'm not.
But it's like speeding.
But
If
you have
I'm
to-
reserved,
what you
don't
have to
get caught,
understand-
Did it really happen?
So yesterday, I was
Look how
talking
upset he
to
is.
the.
I
I was
don't even know
talking.
what he's talking-
Yesterday, I was-
Color is
because it's me.
changing.
I was talking to the lieutenants, and I said, I've said this 3 times because I was so mad about this. This one just says,
It was
actually
4.
you actually said 4. And then he looks at him and
And
goes,
goes,
why?
'Cause
Why?
we were in a
Yeah.
small room.
And the worst
Yeah.
part,
In
a
like,
small room,
I
the
didn't even
bowl is
notice I
getting
had
more
done
red.
it until he looked at me and goes, "Why?" And I went, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
I
And by
sometimes
then, death from above.
The
came
one
in.
who
Yes.
the one who purposely does it is Rosas, who can get you spun up
Absolutely.
and
You
see,
know,
mine are
Drive-by
accidental.
shooter.
I don't even notice I do
Yeah.
it. He does it like 100%
So
on purpose.
I've never got to say this on one of you guys Titan Talk shows, and I would like the I would
Hold
like
on,
the rest.
I'm muting his mic.
I would like the rest of
is
our
professional
Titan
here.
employees to know. I want everybody to take
Oh,
a
here
nice,
he goes.
hard.
This is how upset
hold on,
Connor
hold on.
makes you. And how he
I
can,
want.
how he
I
can
got to get
play
through
you.
this, boss. Anyways, I want everybody to take a nice hard look at Lieutenant Rosas. Then I want you to type in "elf on a shelf" in Google and look at images.
You know-
and you tell. I'm not done. And you tell me if the resemblance is not uncanny.
See, it's funny. You
It's-
you say that. We actually brought this up in the last one. And around Christmas, we're going to dress him up like an elf, and we're going to sit him on a shelf on behind you.
Yeah.
And we're going to put him on camera.
The only reason he has not been. I also have another theory that I brought up today. There's no one in America in more dire need of an ass kicking than Connor Rosas. That's my other one. And I have another theory that the only reason he gets away with this stuff is because he's cute. And that's the only reason he gets away with this.
I think he's pretty crafty at spinning you up.
He is.
Oh, he's extremely crafty at
Yes.
that.
He is very.
He
good
knows
at
how
it.
to put.
Really?
how to press
Who's
your
not
buttons.
crafty at spinning
well,
me
look
up?
at how upset you. Well, that's true.
See?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, but he
it's
puts
not
like
a heavy
He
lift.
puts like a professional.
I say it's
flair
not
on
the
it.
same when it's Rosas is on like a different level.
I was just telling a story about how he did it. All right? And
Yeah,
then
but
this one,
Rosas is different though.
this one will remember the 2 or 3 mistakes I've made since he's known me, and he'll lay them out like landmines. Hey, remember
Like
that time
the
you did
email you said that you had attached me on that you didn't actually.
like that one? See, like he just did right there.
When you
We
thought
need to
you
get a
put
heart
diesel
rate
in your
monitor
truck.
on Leon, and then start to
Yeah.
I can put my smartwatch on him. It might
monitor
help.
it and see how.
Somebody from the company would be like, "That guy needs medication." Like whoever's heart this is hooked up to does not have much longer.
So
Get him on
we got
those.
another
We're
another
red
comment
lighting.
on that on the video. It says, "I'm catching up, but this was a bad shoot in my opinion. If you're a security vehicle, wait for them to leave. Get in the vehicle and wait for them to leave."
100%.
Yeah, he never even should approach. The guy.
Shouldn't
Just get
have.
away
That
from
was
them.
a
Yeah.
created scenario. What do they call that? Third-party aggression, or where they get you get yourself into a scenario
Yeah.
like that. It's just
Well, like you said, you could tell from his inflections of his voice, like he was not.
he was not in
himself.
control of his.
He was definitely not. He was
It-
not at the wheel.
On the positive side, it makes me feel so good to be able to say there is nothing in that video that is the culture of Titan protection.
I
There's,
agree.
yeah,
That's
it makes me
absolutely-
so happy to
absolutely.
be able to say that.
Hopefully. And there too, there is a time when you are going to have to use force, and you need to do it, and you need to be squared away and know what you're doing, and that's when, But it's just not every time, and it's just not the tool to go to.
when I saw when I thought it was bad enough
Right.
I couldn't tell who was spraying who and stuff like that, but it was so bad
Right.
anyways.
I don't think it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was so bad anyways. But when I saw the piece come out, I was like,
Oh,
oh,
no.
no.
I was like, I hope that is a taser.
Yeah, I was just like, oh no.
And even
there's
then,
the-
it'd be
Well,
bad.
but when he pulls his gun, it's because the victim tries to pull out to the right
And
and
his
then
car is
sees
there.
the car there.
Yeah.
So he draws his gun, says, "You tried to hit me." The guy backs up and tries to go the other way. It
Right.
was aggressive. I mean, it was hit him, but he was in the way. But the very simple equation is step to the side. If
Step
the guy
away.
gets out of there.
Well, and I noticed, did the video cut away to like the CC or the security camera?
So in the
top?
in the beginning, it shows the CCTV of his security vehicle pulling
Doesn't actually
into the
show him
parking
getting
lot.
struck. 'Cause I wonder how like struck he really was, because the guy.
So that was a glitch in the system when it did that.
Okay.
My feed cut out for a
Okay,
second,
okay.
and then
Yeah,
came
yeah, I don't
back.
think he actually hit.
He didn't
I don't think the security officer got. There
I
was
don't. I think it was like
physical
he got
contact
he
with
got
the car.
close, but
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
he
he
bumped it
probably
with his
pushed
hand
away,
and
and so-
pushed himself away.
the guy, he knew the guy was stopping. And we're just let's move to.
And
a
then we're
different
screaming,
subject.
"Leave!" Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that
Yeah.
whole
Yeah, pointing a gun at somebody while you're blocking them from being able to leave. You're like, get out of here. It's like,
Right.
It was much more fun
we
talking.
teleport?
It was much more fun talking about Coop
Roses?
upsetting me with his rules. All
It's
right?
okay. Well,
fair.
I've got someone saying that it's frowned upon. Going back to the rules, bring you back some joy on that one.
He's just gonna rub it in.
Oh,
isn't he?
on
It's frowned upon.
Why is
I
it
kn-
frowned? Who said it's frowned? What?
The guy you
Look at
like
you
so
getting
much,
them.
Field, is agreeing with me.
Just agree with Leon. Confirmed. Agree
And
with
then
Rob.
Billy, you are
Frowned
correct.
upon.
Aaron does have a podcast for tasting alcohol, but it's a pre-recorded show.
Boy.
that comes out
Actually,
after.
though, that
Oh, here
sounds
we
like an
go.
interesting tie.
But I don't actually know.
Maybe we could get some. I think he's
Let's
in
see. Other than
discussion.
that, we've got some
I think
internet
so.
connectivity
We've
issues
had him
for
on.
them because it seems to be running fine on our side. Other than that, there's just a couple of other comments about other incidences that it reminds them of. We've got one, the Olathe school shooting last year. The officer and the principal were shot. Does
Yeah.
that one ring a
I
bell?
remember
Yeah.
hearing
Oh
about
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah. That's Olathe East. That's Sparks' kids. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
And an SRO shot the suspect.
Yes.
I believe
Yep.
he got
I
shot,
believe so,
and he
yeah.
ended up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I messaged you when it happened. Asked you if that was Jack's school because
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
yeah.
the only other one is, let's see, there was a situation of a security owner in Kansas City shooting an unarmed
Yeah,
unarmed
that
person.
was SK.
There was that one, and then there's also the one outside of a bar where the two
Oh,
officers
good
get
Lord.
get in front, and
Actually, that's a pretty.
that's the same similar
that's-
scenario.
Yeah, that one was a mess. That officer, there were two officers. There was a. Oh, that's a real good one. So, and very comparable to this. Two officers are working at a nightclub in Kansas City. Across the street is a gentleman, I think was a patron of the bar, went to his car. He was drunk. The officer said, "You're drunk, you can't leave." Not really, well, not at all the scope of the security. Maybe that's a call to police. Hey, you got a
Right.
drunk driver going down. Stands in front of the car, same thing. Guy ends up trying to leave. They shoot and kill him. They find out that the armed officer was not licensed.
Right.
Had no business even enjoy. It was off property. Had nothing. That company is no longer around.
Right.
Wow.
Good.
That was a bad one.
I hope I'm not transposing. But
And they lied about. There was a third. The other guy.
one
that
officer went and hid in the bar, or hid his weapon in the bar, or
hit it,
something
the
like
guy that didn't have the license, I think, went and
Wow.
hit his gun and then tried to say he was unarmed. But then,
I mean, you're still not licensed in the city.
I mean,
Right.
it's just. I mean,
I think he was licensed unarmed.
Oh, okay.
I think he had not gotten the armed qualification.
you just talk about those stomach churning moments.
Yeah, I was gonna
man.
say that
It's-
just makes
it's
you kind of feel ill.
Yeah.
right.
It's like,
Yeah.
I guess
But
that's a good
you get, but
feeling.
I'm telling you, you get into that pissing contest of I told you to stay or
Yeah.
you do that and you're gonna hit me. I'm gonna, and
But they
everybody
go
gets all
down with
wet.
that ship.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know,
they're
that's-
just like,
that's-
I
Well,
am
but that's
going
the
They're
problem.
riding that all the
Once
way down
you
to the
draw
bottom.
that
Yep.
line in the sand, do you have it in you to back up and go, okay, I was wrong, and how to, and if not, that's what happens.
The only
Yeah.
ship that any officer should ever go down with is I am saving my own ass or I'm
somebody
saving else's ass. Yeah, that's the only
Yeah.
ship you should be going down for. That's
But that officer thought that's what he was just manufacturing the situation.
but it's still got to be
That's-
genuine.
that's-
yeah,
gotta
so
be
you
genuine.
don't get to make it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
You
don't.
can't force that situation
Yeah.
and then say I was in the right.
That was a good word. I think it was you just said it was a very manufactured
Yeah.
situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other than that, there are no new comments on anything like that. So
Well,
if you want to continue berating us about something, you're more than welcome to.
I've had a good time.
He will do that.
Yeah, I've had a
On
good
air
time.
or off air. I would
Yeah.
assume.
No,
He
it's just
prefers.
gonna-
He's starting to prefer the on air
it's just,
because now he's got a live audience that can hear it and they can chime in and help him.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just going to continue, especially after you with the orange red tape thing, and that's an inside joke
It's
because I screwed up a
clearly
color
orange
one time,
tape.
and he just
That
he,
is
and it's
orange tape.
he
Yeah,
works it
he calls
in,
it red.
and so he works in my mistake on that. Or you yesterday and also today with just saying things. Just let's see how red we can make him. Let's just
pretty
see.
red.
Yeah, let's see how
Not
red
quite
we
as
can make him.
red as the
So
tape.
Caleb, to change it to make you feel a little better, Caleb asks, what bottle of scotch would we be drinking?
I like that one. I'm more of an Irish whiskey guy. I like Irish whiskey, but the one that Ryan turned me on to would be my favorite Scotch, and that's Oban. That would
Oban.
be that one is
Sounds like good stuff.
probably my favorite.
That's good. That's
Ryan?
That's mine.
What's
Is it the more northern Scotch or
It's
southern
actually
Scotch?
pronounced Oban.
Oh,
Oh wait,
that sounds like
Look,
a,
I
that
see-
sounds
I
like
see that
I
color
actually
change.
got corrected by
Oban.
somebody.
Did you-
and That's
did-
the only reason why
You're the one who told me it was Oban.
that was before I got corrected.
now he's correcting you.
Now he's
It is
correcting me.
spelled Oban, so I don't
Fine.
think it matters, but it's good. That's good stuff. That's my go-to.
Okay.
The closest Scotch I get to is Scotch whiskey. That Monkey Shoulder's really good. Tommy gets me a bottle every year for Christmas.
I like
so-
We tried
all the
that the-
Glens, Glenfiddich.
Yep.
There's an old saying: "Any Glen will do."
Yes.
So
And
you
you-
walk in and you order.
You've said
it.
that before.
Yeah, any Glen will do.
Dewar's is Scotch, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dewar's
Doers
and
ain't
then-
bad.
What's the
Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker's good
Glenfiddich,
That's Scotch, isn't it?
Glenfiddich,
Yeah,
and
that's
then-
good.
So yeah, Johnny Walker, Blue Label.
Blue Label.
Blue
I
Label's
got
good
one
stuff,
bottle of
yeah.
that. I got it as a gift. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
That
waiting
is
until one of my
good
kids gets
stuff.
engaged or something like that before I open that. But yeah, I got that as a gift. But I'm down to mostly just Irish whiskey and Coors banquet beers. That's my
See, I'm a Coors Light guy, but
Coors Light's good.
shocking since you
I
weigh
can't do the
150 pounds.
Coors.
Yeah, it's shocking that you
The
drink light beer.
Banquet, well, we had this discussion a couple weeks ago. Coors Banquet in a can, fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
We couldn't go a single show without
Phenomenal.
having being said. But in a bottle.
Oh, I forgot I'm
that-
not supposed to say
that
that.
brown bottle, that little brown chubby bottle.
Yeah, I
they
don't
use,
like it. Tastes
I don't
weird.
like it either.
Yeah.
And I don't,
It's
I
gotta
don't
be
think I've ever
canned.
had it on draft, but the bottle, it's just completely tastes different. So,
Yeah.
because I remember the first time I ever had it was the bottle, and I was like, ooh, I don't like that stuff. And then eventually it's probably the only thing I had, so I went to that.
Yeah, if
And
I'm
it's
feeling
good. The can.
really like being fat, then it'll be a Guinness. I love a good Guinness now and then.
Yep.
so.
The old Irish handcuffs is 2 Guinness.
well, maybe we'll have to. I'm down. We'll do it again. I've got tons of these videos.
Well, there's rules.
Absolutely.
There's rules, sir, and
Yeah,
it's-
we'll
it
have
could be frowned upon.
We'll have some soda
know,
pop
so-
one of these days.
That's
on
right.
here.
Soda.
It was-
just know you're drinking soda.
It was phenomenal that Josh brought up the rules. That
It's just that word hurts my ears.
phenomenal.
It's like the ASMR. Like,
Yeah.
no, not for me. Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Fantastic. Fantastic is good. Phenomenal is too much. Is it really phenomenal?
No,
or
it
is it just
probably
something you like?
No.
Yeah, probably.
It's more of an entertaining of just getting at you.
Yep. Well,
Just like trying to change his his color.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal is how we do yours.
You said shape, but I don't know. What that
Here we
means.
go.
Whoa, whoa, oh,
That's
so
what he said.
Shots fired.
Did I?
It was a Freudian slip. He
Was
said
that-
Oh, did I?
Oh,
Shape.
it makes
My
it
apologies.
worse that you point
wait a
that
minute here. Hold
out.
on. Were you indicating that he was calling me fat? Is that what you
No,
were saying?
I don't know what he was referring to.
You seem to be running away
I
from.
think what I was trying to say was shade.
Oh, shade.
Changes shade.
Were you saying something about my shape?
No. I was trying to say shade, as in like your shade of
Well,
red.
then why are you trying to start something?
I'm not trying to start
He's just
something.
pointing
I was
out
just pointing
a
out
scientific
that
fact
it,
that could have been a Freudian
Well, this is
slip.
deteriorating.
right.
It's
Yes.
This is not going well.
Oh, well.
So I'm having fun. I don't
Anything big for the weekend?
know. We've got the
Football games.
football games
starting.
that are starting now.
So, if any football teams need security, we have the guys. They're a lot of fun to do. I enjoy doing them.
Are we
did-
doing Lee Summit this year?
Yeah.
Correct.
Nice.
Yeah, we were.
What's
there
the
last
weather
year.
this weekend?
Probably
Uh,
warm.
Warm.
Supposed to rain on Saturday. I've got a little pool party at my house, and that was going to ruin it. But the clouds have moved to later in the day, so we'll be good. to go.
Nice.
That's good.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
On that, any big news on your guys' side for the weekend?
I just can't wait to get over to McFarland's tomorrow and see all the man breasts everywhere. That'll be fantastic. It'll be just a glorious
Hey,
sight.
when you have your own pool, you don't really care what you look like.
That's right.
That's true.
So
Get out
it's
there.
usually
Billy,
just
you are
me.
correct. We also
Indeed.
have the gig on September 10th as well, coming up.
So coming up, I was just trying to think short term what we have this weekend other than that stuff. But as always, stay hydrated out there. It's,
Yeah,
it's
With the
gonna be a
warm
couple-
weather, always
more
remember
weeks.
hydration starts the day before.
Correct.
So
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, pretty soon it's going to cool off, though, I think. I haven't
we're
seen
close.
the break in the weather yet.
I think next week is supposed to cool down a
Really?
little bit. I
Good.
honestly I haven't seen.
I'm
it
tired of
since
mowing my
September.
yard. Huh.
Yeah.
You signed up for that though.
Yeah, it's a big yard.
Yeah.
It was fun like the first month, and I'm like, I could do this every week.
I'm not talking about McFarland's yard, Coop. Bring this thing to an end. I'm not
All right.
talking. I
I
refuse.
kind of
So
just want to
Chiefs-
drag it out just to
Chiefs
see
had
it
a
out.
great game. I didn't see the end of it, but we were going to start interjecting some sports just to mess with him. But
Yeah, they wanted
did the Len Dawson choir huddle yesterday at as a tribute.
Yeah.
At the very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
That's
Pat,
cool.
Pat came out and did it, and then sat back down for the rest of the game, and
Yeah.
that was really neat. I bet that was a really fun game to be at.
Yeah.
A lot of memorial stuff doing or that they were doing, and then
For-
they're going to do it for the rest of the season
For
too.
Lenny the
so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's
That's
actually
cool.
a
Well, him and
picture-
Mahomes are the only two chief
for Super Bowl wins. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a picture of him at halftime where he's
Smoking
smoking
a cigarette in the
and
locker
drinking
room.
a beer.
Yeah.
I think it might be the bottle banquet. beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a Schlitz, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a while ago, but that
Yeah.
was the Gatorade at halftime back
Absolutely.
So-
You got to get some carbs in.
then.
One way to get them
Nicotine
too.
and carbs.
Yeah. Before he starts talking about his yard again, would you please bring this to an end?
Absolutely.
I'll send pictures.
So we appreciate everybody joining us today and watching us react to that video. Hopefully with some more videos from our fearless leader, Ryan Smith, we'll get some more of these reactions going on. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comments. I try to check them every couple of days so I can stay updated and maybe answer them in the next podcast. Again, we appreciate it. We hope to see you guys in the next one, and we will be back Monday at 2 p.m.
And
Thanks,
and
guys.
If anybody has any videos too to send us,
Yeah, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
we'll take a peek at those too.
You're going to get a video
Send 'em to
now of
Coop.
McFarland on his riding mower just going around in circles.
Hey, and don't forget we have like a 10-second runoff where they can still hear us before they
So
start yelling at
have a
us.
wonderful
Oh, it's getting ready to
weekend.
begin.
Have a wonderful
getting ready.
weekend. We appreciate everybody stopping by.
4,
Be careful out there,
3,
guys.
2,